I was born and raised in the Rockford area ever since I was little. I grew up in the side of town to where it was a shooting nonstop, maybe once, twice a week. I grew up in a family to where my sister loved the gangbangers. She loved the Crips and the Kings and everyone in between the sun. I grew up in a household to where half my family hated the other half of my family because they're white or black. I also grew up in a household to where drugs were in very big supply, but love and understanding was nowhere to be found. And I wish I could say it gets better, but depending on how you look at it, it won't. You're seeing this video now at 2020, right? When you watch this, understand that where I come from and where I go are two different things. It's something I had to learn myself. Because it's easy to fall into the roots of being who you are rather than who you want to become. So it went from being my own business owner to really wanting to prove people wrong that I'm not just some ghetto kid from Rockford who amounts to nothing, living off child support or Social Security, Link, food stamps, food pantries, Section 8 housing. No, I want to be more than that. I want to be the person that gave the people the opportunity to get out of that rut. And so from there, I just followed where my heart really took me. I went from doing nonprofit work for different organizations, like I met the Liam Foundation when they did my first seminar I went to at Rock Valley College. I met Scotty, I met Phyllis, two amazing people who take my breath away every single day, that I watch them just wake up and smile. Even though they're going through a lot, they just smile because they know they've helped at least one person. From there, I kind of took a road back and just worked more on myself, trying to find out who I was as a person. And so now every day that I wake up, I don't see myself as a failure. I don't see myself as a regret or lost. The beautiful thing about learning how to deal with your mental health and progress in it is not the fact that it's a smack in the reality of it's always going to be there. No, it's the fact that you survived. And that your voice you're going to use, whether it's to billions of people or it's to one person, it's a foundation that they can find for themselves. I always want to leave everything that any interview I ever do or anytime I have a chance to talk to anybody with this one question. Anyone and everyone can dream. It's the one thing we all have in common. We can find common ground on it no matter what. We all have dreams. We all have goals. Whether you're super depressed now and can't even think past 3 seconds, or you're on the verge of ending your own life or overdosing or doing more drugs or being more abusive to someone else, you still have a dream at one point. But what kills everybody else is the journey. Because the journey has a cost. You have to ask yourself, are you willing to pay for it? So I urge you, I implore you, I use whatever fancy words you want me to say, to have you go out there and fight for what you believe in, fight for what you've done, and fight to keep living a life that you need to live. I encourage you to share your story more. Go out there and volunteer. Be a friend. You don't even have to talk, just sit next to someone who's going through a hard time. Get to Facebook, express yourself, put your story out there. I know it's scary, trust me, I've done it a few times and I'm still scared to death every time I do it. But I can tell you this, every time you go past fear, you look it in the eyes and say, for lack of better words, the F word, you won a battle. And that battle over time leads to a war, and that war over time leads to prosperity, and I know you can achieve it. Not because I've done it. I'm completely different than what you have. You will never be in my shoes and I'll never be in yours. The most I can do is either learn about what you've done or help inspire you to do something greater. So I want you guys to get out there as much as possible and just take every day that you have on this earth and you fight for something. Whether it's to be a paycheck, whether it's to be your family, your kids, your brother, your sister, your spouse, or just to get out there and prove that there's something more to you. There's a fire burning so passionately inside your heart that you can't put it up with anything. You have to express it. Don't be afraid to get passionate. Be afraid not to be passionate.